it's one thing to watch that movie at home on a small screen, like on the screener, another to watch it with this audience. But the thing that actually stands out the most to me is Craig Zahler's script and his screenplay. It's so both acerbic in its dialogue, but also in its choreography in terms of the minutia of what all your characters sort of do from scene to scene. So I wonder if you could speak to what drew you to the screenplay, what attracted you to the part and to the film.
Well, I really like that, Craig, that you invest in the characters. I think the scene that hooked me was when Bradley goes home and finds out that she's been cheating and kind of beats their car up, but then goes and says, "This is a good sign that we need to get closer together. Let's try to pick up where we left off." And I found it surprising, and I also found it kind of real. Like in some of those moments, you get that they're both kind of sober and have been through a lot of pain, and they're really trying to make a good life, and so they come together in that moment, and oddly it made me really root for them. And I really bought the relationship as a result in the screenplay because of that bond. And then I think he does a good job of having you connect to the characters and invest in them. And then when you get to the violence, he does it very specific and it's cool, but you really understand what's at stake and the motivation of it by the time you get to the first arm break and all of that.
I mean, speaking of that car scene, how does one choreograph the demolition of a car that way? Like, what went into the process of deciding exactly how you were to destroy a car? Producers might have an answer for this.
I mean, the car thing took a couple of weeks to figure out. We really wanted Vince to do it for real, and he really did it for real. I mean, there's actual metal being hit and plastic being hit and glass being hit. I mean, those are real materials. We just kind of figured out the most safe and genuine way for him to do it. But that's real. He's doing it.
So what's the? It's lamentable that Zahler's not here. What's his presence on set? Like, what's the working relationship with the actors? Because every scene seems so deliberate and considered.
He's a very low-key guy. It's kind of interesting because the whole time that you're working with Craig, you're saying to yourself, "This came out of that," because it doesn't seem to fit. And then, of course, the more you get to know him, you realize that he's just kind of phenomenal in his ability to create these incredible characters and support that kind of violence with such powerful underpinnings and story. It's a great experience to work with him.
Now, throughout the movie, we get a lot of hints of Bradley Thomas's past, where we kind of put together sort of a picture. But I'm wondering, for Don and Udo, did Zahler have elements of your past that he told you about, or did you come up with where your characters were coming from? Because we don't get to know that much about the Placid Band or Warden Tugs. And I'm just wondering if there's any sort of background or back history to their characters.
Well, he didn't really give me. That's kind of our work. You sort of. I do a lot of crazy stuff in building characters, and he sort of left it in my hands, and I suppose that if he hadn't liked it, he would have said something, and he didn't. So,
Udo, how about yourself?
Well, he wrote it and he wanted me, so he knew I could do it. But I thought we talked so much about Zahler, which I really love him, but I saw the film like you for the first time, and I'm amazed of the performance of Vince, and I want to congratulate him for that.
I don't know why the lights just turned off. That was such a magical moment for us. There we go. Oh, wow.
It's not dramatic, it was real.
I think they turned out the lights so Udo could kiss Vince.
Okay.
Vince, you are incredible in this film. The choreography, the fight sequences, I'm a huge fan of martial arts cinema, and I'm just so floored by those sequences. How much training, how much preparation? Could you describe your relationship with the choreographer, and did you have input on the fighting style at all?
So much of it was laid out by Craig. He's the songs that you heard in the movie, original songs that he wrote, that the OJs actually performed. He's a true filmmaker, not just a great director, but every facet of the movie, including the fight sequences, is his ideas. I had wrestled younger and I had boxed throughout my life, so I got to revisit that a little in preparation. And I do jiu-jitsu now in California, so I've always kind of enjoyed the martial arts and the training. So it kind of came into play, so I had to get in a certain kind of shape for this character, and then I really just shadow boxed and practiced movement a lot, because when we got there, the way that we shot these are cool, but it's somewhat dangerous in that we were doing, 15, 20 punch combinations in a take and kind of full go, and there's really no way to make it look good without kind of committing to it. So I like the aesthetic of it quite a bit, and we shot the whole movie in 25 days, so the challenges were, obviously working out those fights ahead of time, and then the practicality on the day of being able to execute them and to do them. But what you see is really from Craig's mind, and all of us working really hard to kind of fulfill his vision, because I just trust his taste so much.
Those fights deserve another round of applause. All right, you in the audience, right there.
I want to give a new definition to the phrase "blowing up now" in this movie. I was wondering if you could speak on, all of you can speak on working on sets, prison sets that they both terrifying scenes, so I can imagine what it's like walking on set.
What was it like working on these prison sets?
So our production designer, Freddie Woff, is here. Freddie, where are you? There's Freddie. There he is, up there.
It's up on the balcony.
So we went to Staten Island, Fort Wadsworth, and we built out the cell block 99 there, but the actual cell itself was built in a test kitchen in Brooklyn next to a cookie bakery, and every day while we were filming those scenes, all we could smell were chocolate chip cookies.
Right there.
Yeah, could you talk about something about the blood, the effects and stuff? Like
Oh yeah, in terms of the effects, who was responsible for some of those gags? Jack or Dallas? Do you?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we had these guys, Dave and Tom, out in New York. Just great local New York FX guys who, you probably see their work on every New York shot TV show to Spider-Man, and they did some amazing stuff. I mean, that face scrape thing they worked out for. The thing with Zahler, and everyone here I think can attest to it, is that everything he wants to see done practically and in one shot, no cuts, and that's a tall order for every department. And the FX guys really, I think, pulled it off, as you guys saw tonight. So,
Right there.
Get the mic? Okay. So the film was a lot of fighting. So I guess my question to all of you, if you want, but maybe Vince, because you did a lot of the fighting. What's the biggest brawl you've ever been in real life, and over what? And did you win?
Well, I've never been anything quite like with these guys. This is kind of like a real brawl, multiple brawls. For me, I think what really makes the fighting work is the emotional investment that you have in the characters. They kind of take a lot of shit before he has enough and kind of does something. But I like the way Zahler handles the violence, because I think it kind of respects it. It really kind of shows it real. It's not like the stuff that you see all the time. And if you've been in real fights or been around real fights, it's not as fun as it kind of seems. I think this movie does a good job of showing that.
That's true. Right there.
Okay, you guys rocked. Every Southern woman wants a man that has their back. You guys kick ass. It's awesome.
Okay. Do we have one more question? Right back there.
Just wondering, Mr. Vaughan, to get to know something like this as a character, what was it like as an actor to prepare to detach yourself from the violence? Because your character is almost so deadpan while he's kicking ass. What was it like as an actor to just detach yourself from that?
Well, you just kind of prepare, I think, and the thing is to stay in character during the fighting. There's a lot of work that you do prior to getting there. I mean, obviously, physically there was demands, and then the accent was something to be kind of, so comfortable with it, you're not thinking about it. But I think you just, you have a backstory. Craig wrote a biography for me that was very helpful. He's very specific. I had great actors to work off of, and I think you just come in very prepared and then kind of just not know what's going to happen in the moment. So, I think that it's different when you see that third act when I go in there determined once the stun belt's not going to affect me anymore, there's much more of a drive to the character's violence. There's a point of view to it compared to some of the stuff earlier. So I think a lot of it just comes from the point of view of the character, sort of where he's at and what he's doing. And I think, it's really, so much of it's a design by Craig, I think, that makes you you feel in it with the characters. Like I feel as an audience member in the fights with them, I'm participating because Craig kind of puts you in it and you've spent so much time with them and you understand what's at stake for them.
Now, the final question I have is that, am I correct that you are continuing to work with Zahler on a new project, and is there anything that you can share? All of us.
We're like the Zahler company players.
We're doing a movie called Drag Across Concrete.
That could be the title of this movie.
Yeah, and Mel Gibson is joining us. And, an old friend of mine, Tori Kittles, is a very good actor, and Michael Jai White's in the movie as well. And Jennifer Carpenter's back as well. But it's a phenomenal screenplay. Very different, but definitely belongs in the same palette as this.
We all look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.